Let's get started then. In this video, you're going to learn about what it is that makes a great talk. In fact, you're going to decide what it is that makes a great talk. You know what it's like when you see that person on stage and you see them talk and they make you laugh, or they make you really think, or they're telling a story that's really engaging. There are things that they do that mean that you are engaged, that means that you are with them the whole time. And the reason that I start here, it's a bit like Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Successful People. You know, I want you to think about the end at the beginning. Start with the end in mind. And so I think so often we don't do this when we do our public speaking stuff. We kind of go like this. This is usual public speaking state. Okay, boss comes to you and says, I need you to do a presentation. And inside your heart sinks and your brain goes, no, there is absolutely no way. Why are they asking me? Like that. Except your mouth says yes, because you know you want to keep that job. So you've said yes, and you know it's in about 3 weeks' time. So you think, right, I'm not going to think about it. 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 And then about a week out, someone says, have you got the presentation file, the deck for us? And your insides go, oh, crikey, that means I've got to work on it this evening. So you sit there and you work through your deck and you start with your PowerPoint presentation. And what happens is that your PowerPoint presentation becomes like a bullet points that guide you through. And then you get to the actual presentation, having sent your PowerPoint over and asked for about 3 changes in the week. You sat in front of your computer and gone, as you've worked through your PowerPoint presentation, you stand up to do your talk and all you're thinking is, I can't wait for this to finish. At no point have you gone, right, what do I want to achieve? What am I trying to do? What's going to make this a great talk? And so this module is about working that out, but we're going to start with these foundations. So I want you to decide this first. What is it that makes a great talk? I want you to get a pen and paper, and I want you to spend the next 2 minutes brainstorming what it is that you think makes a great talk. Okay, get the pen and paper, get writing. Here we go, timer starts. And I want you to just think about what you see on stage, or what you see, it's not even on stage, is it? Sometimes it's what you see the person in your team meeting do. What is it that they put into their talk or to their communication that has impact? What is it that you see? What is it that you hear? Just really think about it, brainstorm it now. Right then, 10 seconds. Just wrap up there. Okay, so why is it important here? As I said, it's really good to start with the end in mind. And it's really good to have a think about what it is that you like in speakers. Because there are 1,000 tools that I can give you to help you do a good talk. But there is only one way that you can do a great talk. And it's your way of doing it. And if there are things about speakers that you like, then these are the things that you're probably going to lean into wanting to be like as well. But for the purpose of this video, what I want to show you is what I would be considering before you go and do a great talk. What it is, the things that you have to think about before you go into doing a great talk. Now here's a joke, ready? What is it that you want people to do before, What is it that you want people to do at the end of your talk? Do you want them to boo? No, you want them to clap. And I always extend the clap out because I couldn't think of a better way to do this acronym without the other A. So these are the things I want you to think about before you go into doing any talk or any presentation or anything on camera. First of all, C stands for clear idea. The more clarity you have with what you want to get out of it, what's the one thing that you want them to remember, if you can have those two things really nailed down, then you will do a great talk or a great pitch, great piece of communication. Okay, secondly, less is more. Not just a great tip for makeup, but also a great tip for how you are coming across. If you put too much detail in, if you try and say everything, all of your points, you are going to get nothing across. So if you can say it in 2 words, do it. Okay, number 3. You need to consider the audience and the environment. Ooh. I don't mean climate change environment, I mean the environment that you're in. So these are 2 really important points. The reason that environment doesn't have its own is because I couldn't think of a way of getting it into the acronym. So, audience. Who are they? What are they expecting from you? How many of them are there? Are they sitting down? Are they on video? Are they on a screen? What are the elements that you need to consider to make sure that they're engaged? I'm talking to you right now because I know you are experiencing this on your own, or I suspect you're experiencing this on your own. You're not sat in a room full of people. So I am making sure that I am making eye contact down the lens with you and talking to you as one person. It would be slightly different if I was in a room of people, because I'd be thinking, right, I need to talk to that part of the room, I need to talk to that part of the room, I need to talk to the guy at the front, and I need to talk to the guy at front there, and really expand the way that my eye contact works. So there are nuances when you're thinking about audience, and environment comes into that too. Are you speaking on a microphone when you go to do your conference talk, or are you going to have to shout into a big room? Are you going to be stood behind a lectern, or are you going to be free-ranging? You're going to be able to move around a bit. You need to think and know about these sorts of the environment that you're going to be speaking within to help you with your prep, and to consider it because it might change your content slightly. This second A is authenticity plus 10%. So authenticity is key. We are all unique. We are all human. The more honest we are, the more vulnerable we are, the more we're going to engage and connect with the people that we're speaking to. This is time to be a bit fearless. The reason that I put the plus 10% on is because there are always performance standards that you might lean into. So sometimes if you say to someone, just be yourself, and they're really quiet and they do this, and everything, or the stage really shrinks you, whatever you do, so you end up being really small and not really making a point. You sort of have to be a slightly dynamic version of yourself, vintage you, if you like. So you're actually thinking about being a bit bigger and a bit more expressive. So authenticity plus 10%. The P stands for personal stories. Bringing your personal experience to your talk is a great way to have impact and connect with your audience and engage your audience. You think about the people who speak in public who you go, oh gosh, they're really good. They often are able to share their personal experience because the more personal you are, the more universal. And you know, the biggest thing that people say to me when they come to being confident on stage or when they're speaking in public, they say, I'm really good if I know what I'm talking about. The one true way to make sure you know what you're talking about is to bring your personal experience of the topic to the topic. So often we get asked to do a pitch or a presentation on something that we're not sure about, and so often we then go and look for all the data to make sure that we're giving all the facts and all the details to show our knowledge. Actually, your credibility comes from your experience, and there are really some amazing ways that you can lace your experience into your talk to make sure that you're being really engaging. So, what is it that makes a great speaker? Think about what it is that you like about them and what you might want to aim for, because we'll come to that in a minute. And use this acronym. If you're preparing for a talk, this, I promise you, will get you to a really good place really, really quickly.